Hi, guys.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody. Hey, what's
how's it
going
going?
on, Ginger? How are you?
I am good. I am good. How about yourself? I'm gonna.
Good. So, have you survived the holidays?
Yes, I have survived the holidays. I'm muting my phone so that it doesn't start going ding, 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 ding. Um, I,
Oh,
yes,
is
I
that
have.
something that we need to do? Because I need
Yes,
to do that myself. Yeah.
yes. So I have survived the holidays, and yeah, survived the holidays.
That,
So,
that's kind
how
of
about
like
you
what?
and Nana? Have y'all survived the holidays?
Well, we're not done. We got one more today. That's why we still got decorations.
Oh,
We haven't
wow.
had
At your
we haven't
house?
had a Christmas with our kids yet.
Oh, darn it. But you're
So
about to.
we're about to here this evening.
Okay. And Rooster's home?
Rooster made it home. Hi, Rena
Oh,
LaRue.
nice. Hey, Rena. Hey, Johnny. How's it
Knock 'em
going?
out, Johnny.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. So,
So we decided to do a live podcast. Hey, Nanny Tam, what's going on? Um,
yes.
because all the holiday, everything that's went on, we didn't get a podcast recorded. And
No.
I take that blame solely on myself.
No.
I got busy,
So did
but
we.
yeah, everyone kind of got busy this time of the year.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we we decided this would be the best way to bring you guys a podcast this week.
Yes.
Um, and welcome in to 9 Acres of Nothing podcast, a combined podcast between 9 Acre Family Farms and Not for Nothing Homestead.
Yes.
So we have
But
been
today we're live.
today we're live. I mean, it'll still be
Yes.
uploaded as a podcast once the completion of this
Yes.
live today. So hello, Sherry Udall. What's going on? Good to see you.
Hello,
Um,
hello.
any moderators in there, feel free to throw out links, whatever you need to do. You guys know your job, you do it well for
Yes,
my channel.
absolutely.
So
Yes.
we have started a few episodes ago of the podcast that every podcast we now start off with a verse for
Yes.
that podcast. And today's verse is Ecclesiastes 11:4, and it's scrolling
It's
across at the bottom of
I
the
was
screen. It
yes.
says, "Farmers who wait for perfect weather never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest."
And
And that
wow.
comes from the New Living Translation. I know that King James and NIV say, farmers who are those who wait for the wind to blow the
Mhm.
correct direction. But I love that translation to farmers who wait for the perfect weather never plant, because
Yes.
what a true thing. And to me, us starting off a new year, new podcast,
Yeah.
we're all starting to plan out what we're going to do on our farmstead, homesteads, gardens, you name it, for the
Mhm.
year. And what a true verse to like keep in mind, right? You
Yes,
know,
to live by.
if you wait for the perfect time, you're
Mhm.
never going to get anything planted. So
Yes.
you just have to have faith that the Lord will take care of you and plant, you know.
And that's good, Johnny. Yes, we just plant when we can, and that's exactly what it is.
Exactly right.
Whether you start them indoors ahead of time as plants, little baby plant starts, or whether you're waiting for, that first frost or the last frost to go away before you start planting. However, you do it, even if you sit down and you just start a garden planner of this is what I'm going to grow, and it's going to be beside this, and then I'm going to have this down the road. You're getting some kind of organization for yourself for the future, and then you can just go out there and throw it in the ground when you want.
Exactly. Look at multitasker Nanny Tam. She says she's
Oh,
got you on her phone, me on the other one, and Jesse and Lisa from Lazy Days Ahead
on
on
the
her TV,
TV.
all at the same
Oh, I
time.
didn't realize that they were still live. I am so sorry.
I didn't either.
Wow.
But they're
Okay.
traveling on their way to go meet Butler Family Farm, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Well, there you go.
they'll
Well,
be live for an extended period of the day.
Yeah. So Nanny Tam is like got all the electronics going.
Yeah. That's just wacky and wild to me.
Oh, thank you so much, Nanny Tam. We appreciate that so very much. We really do.
So we also, for the direction for today, we thought we'd talk about this combined podcast and what the last year entailed. You know, we kind of left off at a certain spot on our last podcast where Wilbur was headed for the Green Mile.
Yes. And you'll all be happy to know that Joey is very happy because we had something come up on the homestead that like completely put everything to a halt. So Wilbur got a pardon and he has made it to the new year. He is still out there. And, you know, Joey had already threatened to build a trap door in the bottom of
the trailer
that he was making into a transport pen. Yeah, he's really happy. He doesn't have to build that trap door right now.
Well, Johnny from Gillum Farms, he's sharing the love too. He's on both sides at the same time.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. We
appreciate it, Johnny.
Appreciate that. Yes. So yes, Dale and I both are co-streaming. So for anybody else, yeah, it's going out on both of our channels. So,
yep. And we appreciate those tuning in and all those that listen later, because we do know with this podcast, especially, we have several people that listen at work or, you know, listen while they're doing chores at the house or whatever. And we really appreciate every one of you being here.
Yes. So. And we are loving doing this podcast. I mean,
we are having a blast with this. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, some of the feedback we're getting is very good on the podcast.
Yes.
A lot of people are very appreciative of it. And
almost like Charlotte's Web.
Almost like Charlotte's Web. It's such a pretty little story.
Yes. Listen, Charlotte's Web is coming to an abrupt halt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, because Ginger smells bacon.
Yeah. We will keep you posted for sure on maybe by the next podcast that we do bring out, which we are going to change up the subject matter. But maybe by the next one, I will have an additional update for you. Because I know that if you were following along the journey, you followed along, and it was from pretty much, we took you from when we got them and Dale got his, which his are still young, but all the way up to, you know, feeding and preparing them for cold, and then things that you can use and feed. And then the last step is the day they walk the Green Mile. So I didn't get to share that with you of how it was going to go. I was angsting about it a little bit, but I was saying a lot of prayers too. So we'll keep you posted the last time.
Either that or Wilbur will still be around a year from now. One of the two.
One of the two, yes.
And there's the prettiest lady on YouTube. Nana 9 Acres is in the house.
Nana hugs.
Yeah.
When are
so
you gonna
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I get to not only have Nana in my live, but I also have Nana in my life right beside me.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Yes.
Yes.
You are lucky. When are you starting to charge for those hugs? Because I need to get a couple extra in before you start charging for them. I'll still pay for them, Nana.
Special people get free ones.
Special people always get a free hug.
Oh, phew. Wait, am I a special people?
Well, of
Are.
course.
I'm just checking.
So we taught. So the whole point in us coming together for this podcast is so that we can go through, several different facets of farming, homesteading, farmsteading, urban steading, gardening, whatever step you're at in the way. We hope that you gain something from this podcast. And up to this point, we have tried to do a really good job of explaining it for a beginner, or someone who's even advanced into that process, so that hopefully they can learn or glean something from this podcast. And it's not just always fun, which we love the fun prospect of it, because if you're not having fun while doing this, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I grew up with big farming, grew up in a cattle operation, stuff like that. And when you get to the point that you don't enjoy what you're doing, you really need to take a self assessment of the situation. Hey, Beverly Moffitt, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here.
Hey, yes. Hey,
And there is Suburban Hillbilly, says she's lurking in here also.
Yes.
What's going on? But so we kind of started off the podcast. We talked a little bit about our farms, kind of where we started off this last year. Of course, I had already started a podcast with Nana and I on my channel. And Ginger had kind of started her podcast also with the Can It and Scan It, which I think is perfect combination, because we're going to start off as we have this year with raising those proteins, those foods on the homestead. And then we're going to get into that, canning and storage along with those talks also.
Yes.
And we plan on 100% bringing on more guests, guest involved with the Homestead Hangout crew, guest involved outside the Homestead Hangout crew. So just stick around. We hope that this next year we can bring you more and more enjoyable content. We haven't really talked about how often we're planning on doing this in the upcoming year. We've kind of fell into every other Monday is a drop day.
Yes.
Which
and
kind of
yesterday got busy, guys. So we couldn't do it
yesterday got super busy. Because
Rainy Ridge.
Hi, Rainy Ridge. We had a lot going on both of our homesteads yesterday.
Yes.
We had plans to do this, and then some other pertinent things happened.
Yes, they did.
Especially for us. And we postponed until today to put it out. But so like Ginger was saying, we're planning on moving from the pig talk and going to switch subjects.
Okay, mum's the word. Rainy Ridge.
I'm not
saying nothing.
we're not gonna tell anybody that
Loose
you're here.
Sink ships. I'm not doing that. I'm not sinking your ship.
I ain't into no ditches.
No, that's right. No,
I ain't snitching.
Or snitches or stitches. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't do well with stitches either.
Yeah, me either.
But we so hey, there's Christine, Mrs. Gillum Farms. What's going on?
Sister. We got two of the sisters in here from last night. I know. Well, three if you count me. Hello.
3 if you count you.
Yes. We're just missing the Sarah.
I think for our channel, I know, and our combined channels here with the podcast, I kind of feel like we really started that collaborations together, and I think in the upcoming year you're going to see more and more of that coming from several of us. Hey, there's Ben's Over Acres. What's going on? Thanks for coming in.
Hey.
But so some of the subjects that we're going to talk about in the next year are going to be what?
We're going to talk about cows. We're going to
Moo
talk
cows.
about moo cows. We're going to talk about chickens. And I think we'll have a special guest on maybe for both of those.
For both of those.
For the cows, I know for sure. For the chickens, probably also.
It could be there could be multiple guests when it comes to the chicken talks.
Yes, yes. And then gardening.
That's a big subject. And that's
Yes.
when I'm going to lean on my co-host big time. Because I know Jinja, the garden ninja, is amazing over at Not for Nothing Homestead.
I don't know. I have my moments. Sometimes you just throw the seeds in and, say a little prayer and, hope it goes well. But I mean, I will say right now, if you're planting your garden, this is the one thing that I repeatedly say to everybody. Plant one thing that's fun. One thing that's not that you don't want to go outside to your garden, but something that draws you out there every day that you're super curious about, that you have never planted before. And if you do that every year, plant at least one fun thing, whether it's a new vegetable, whether it is a gourd, a pumpkin, a loofah, which I have loofah seeds. If anybody needs
So do
some,
we.
just
And that
email me. Oh yeah, you got loofah seeds too this year.
Yeah, so that was Nana's like one particular garden thing this year was loofahs. Like she got all excited, and especially when they started putting on fruit, and the closer it come time to harvest that fruit, and she got her first loofah all cleaned up, and like that kept her motivated in the garden all year long.
Yes, it does.
And I think you've touched on a really good. Oh, so I got a bunch of people that come in and I need to say hi to real quick.
Yes.
Southern Roots, Alaskan Branches. Josh, what's going on, brother?
How are you?
How are you doing? Thanks for being here. And then the OG chicken manager on 9 Acre Family Farms channel. And I know he is the OG on Not for Nothing. Joe Fix It For You is in the house.
Yes.
That's awesome. There's Scotty Too Hottie and Karen. Scotty Too Hottie. I don't know if Karen's with him, I assume.
Hello. Joey said, are y'all really live?
Yeah, yes, I know.
We're live because we didn't do a podcast, Joey, because, we were like all busy and stuff. So we didn't record anything.
There was like some things happening. There was like Christmas going on, like New Year's going on. There was brand new stuff going on everybody's channels this past week. Hey, Dawn at Hat Creek Homestead, what's going on? Good to see you.
Thank you for coming in.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to those talks for the upcoming year of those cattle, the chickens. I think we're also going to talk about those small ruminants, those goats and those sheep and things along that too, and then definitely looking forward to that garden talk.
And if you have not watched the podcast of how to transfer a pig pen to a chicken pen to a garden bed, you need to go back and watch a few of the podcasts that we've done previously, because this is going to help you coming up.
Yes,
if you do that.
Definitely. In fact, we're going to move our domestic terrorist over to a whole new spot, because that's the plans with it, is it's going to become a new garden spot with a particular plant in mind. We're gonna make a new pumpkin patch.
Oh, nice.
With the pigs.
Yes.
So we can plant pumpkins, whatever we don't harvest and sell for pumpkins. Then we will let them take care of cleaning it back up.
Yeah,
Again
and
next
you know
fall.
they're going to be more than excited and
Oh,
more
yeah.
than willing to help clean up a pumpkin patch.
There's Miss Lisa, Jesse's girl at
Yes.
Lazy Days Ahead. What's going on?
Hello.
Tim
Thank you.
Piles. That's a new name for me. Hi, Tim.
Yes, hi. Hopefully you are doing well and you enjoy coming in here.
We're not
So,
always live on the podcast. Of course, most of the time it's pre-recorded, but it looks exactly the same.
yes, exactly.
Hopefully with a
usually
clear picture.
usually I'm outside on the other porch, though. I'm on
Yeah.
the outdoor kitchen, but this time I'm inside. We have had some drop down weather. It
Really?
was cold this morning. Yes.
Oh, no.
It was bad. Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry. He said his internet just went out. And then Dawn said, I'm slowly losing my mind. These kids need to go back to school.
You know, I always found that funny as, you know, now later in my years, because I can
Yes.
remember making statements like that when I was a parent with small kiddos.
Mhm.
And I almost find it funny now, you know, I can't handle my own children, so I'm going to send them so there's someone else's problem.
I know. Well, at least for 8 or 9 hours of the
Yeah.
day, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I
But
was like, okay, we're gonna make these crafts, we're gonna bake, we're gonna do this. Okay, by day 4, I'm all out of stuff to do, and now they're just going crazy. And there were 4 of them, so it was 4 against 1.
Yep.
That was never good odds.
At our house, it was always 3 against 1 because
Mm.
if I was here, Nana was doing something else, or vice versa, you know.
Yes.
I was
yes.
gone, and usually it was Nana and the kids, honestly. But
We had that as well. Hello there, Growing a Homestead.
what's
Thank
going on?
you. Yes, we had chores as well. We did chores
Yep.
as well. I
Our
learned after
kids,
the first couple of winter breaks that after the twins came along and the other 2 were around, I started planning for summer school. We did a homeschool summer school program at the house, and that kept everybody busy during the summer, and I didn't have to pull my hair out. So that actually worked out really well.
hey, Lindy Okie. Yeah, for us, instead, what we did was we really got into the show world, like showing pigs and showing
Mhm.
animals. We had all kinds of animals on the homestead that had chores to be done, and then we spent a lot of time in the woods, you know. I would always make the statement, because we were really into chasing raccoons at night with hounds, that if you kept kids in the timber, you didn't have to
Mhm.
worry about where they were at, you know, because they
Yes.
were chasing some old hound up and down the hollers, you know,
Yes.
and the ditches. And then when we got in the show world, it was the same way. Like,
Mhm.
they had so much work to do, cleaning pens and working with animals and doing skin and health care and feeding and
Yes.
daily chores, that we kept them busy enough that maybe they don't want to do that anymore.
And not to mention training. I mean, there's got to be an amount of training that goes along with I've seen the shorts that Nana's put out of Rooster with the stick, tapping the pig on the left, on the right. So I'm sure there's got to be some amount of training that goes into that as well.
Yeah. So it was like 30 to 45 minutes every night with that animal, with that
Wow.
one pig.
Sometimes more
If they were being
Wow.
a bird head.
Yeah. Turd head. The kid or the pig?
Both.
Lisa said she and Jesse, she plugged her phone in and then they lost sound. I am so sorry.
Oh, no. Well,
We were coming
your
back
phone's
from
trying to
town.
connect to your radio.
Oh,
Then.
Yeah.
Ben's Over Acres is asking, has any of you ever ate meat goat? I have. I really like it. If you like deer, think of deer without the wild taste for those
Okay.
things.
Oh wow.
It's a little
So the
calmer
meat
version of
is
a deer.
dark.
It is
The
a
meat.
darker meat. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. I would have thought it would have been kind of like a chicken or gator or pork chops, something like that. It would turn
Yep.
into a lighter colored meat, but it's a darker.
Yep.
Good to know.
It's a little darker meat. And it all kind of depends on the breed and where the cut's at. But I like it.
Yeah.
And then Tim Piles is asking, are you guys going to the meetup in May? Are you talking about the Arkansas Valley meetup with DD5
Hey, Rachel.
and all of them? If so, let us know in the chat. Hey, Rachel, back to good. What's going on?
Hopefully she's doing
Hack
good.
Creek says they do that same thing with all their kiddos right now.
Good.
Hey, Crazy Crafter Adventures.
Hello.
Addie.
So Johnny's saying wild taste.
I see. I'm with Johnny. Everybody claims the deer has a wild taste. It's all on how you process that animal.
Yes.
On if that's there, because we firmly don't believe that's there.
Hey, Bowen.
What's going on, Bowen? I'm so happy that I'm starting to see Bowen back around and back in all the chats.
Yes. Rachel, I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Okay, but my question is, if it's that cold, how you refilling the water?
What do you mean? You take it from the main tank to the holding tank inside the... It's cold, trust me, but it's a necessary thing. If you want running water, you have to go out there and get your hands cold a little bit. So we have a small, Rachel, just so you know, we have a small 12-volt pump that is operated by a solar battery. Hello, Leonard Mountain Homestead. And we pull water from an IBC tote on demand. So maybe think of that in the future. If you want me to like send you the Amazon, like a picture of it so you can see what I'm talking about. But we just have it hooked up to an RV marine battery, and that pump comes on anytime I turn on the faucet in the camper. The pump comes on and it pulls it from a I think that's a 330 gallon. Our stationary IBC tote is really big. The one where we transport is 260 or 275, but that's how we haul water in. But the stationary tank that we have is 330. And so we fill that tank up and then hook a hose up to that, hook it directly to where you would feed your water in. And that's how we get water, with that 12-volt pump and a marine RV battery. So, hey, when you're off grid, I just discovered Rachel's off grid a couple weeks ago. Also, when you're off grid, you do what you can.
Yeah. So that is like, that is just one of the cool things about this combination of this podcast is we bring in that off-grid stuff. Ginger does definitely, and Joey. And yeah, I knew Rachel was off-grid, and I know that they also are trying to make plans to move here into the Midwest somewhere.
Oh, really?
And I know that they're planning on moving to like Arkansas, I think. But hey, have you thought about Southeast Kansas, Rachel? Because there's just as many opportunities and stuff here. Just saying.
Just saying. He's just throwing that bone out there. So she said, we just plug our transfer pump into our solar generator. But yes, send me some info. So when this one fails, we look into the on-demand one. Okay. So yeah, I'll get the info on it. I think we actually got it at Tractor Supply. The pump, and yeah, it
It's like a
works.
sprayer pump.
Huh?
It's like a sprayer, what we would call a spot sprayer pump. Is the
Okay.
same
It's
kind of deal.
It's a little one, yeah,
It's
and
a
it does
12 volt
wonders.
diaphragm pump is what it is.
We do it. It absolutely has changed our life because I was filling the camper reserve tank. Only holds the freshwater tank only holds like 60 gallons. I mean, you got a couple of showers and some dishwashing, and you're through that, you know.
Mhm.
And so he was like, "Wow, we keep having to refill. We're gonna need to figure out something else." So Joey came up with this system, and it works. It works.
So I seen Tim is talking about the one with DD5.
Okay.
That is the plan. That's a long time from now. So, but yes, we're planning on getting there. And Scotty said, yeah, he's tried deer. It was weird, but not too bad. So I advise you to try it again, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Is that something you could get from some sort of a meat store? I mean, is that something that's sold? Goat meat, is that sold? Like I
Yeah.
went up to the feed store and they sell venison up there. So
they're selling venison.
yes. Yeah.
Must be farm raised venison.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
But yeah, there's so like we have a friend that he's a meat inspector at Locker, you know, processing plants, and he has a couple different processing plants that they have goat that you can buy right there.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
awesome.
when you get into some towns and some grocery stores, especially grocery stores that have different cultural food in it,
Yes.
is I've seen goat in their meat counters before.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look out for that and give it a try because I've never tried it.
Yeah.
So Rachel said, yes, looking for land in Arkansas, and no, never thought of Kansas. I don't want to get swept away like Dodo. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Guarantee you, I've lived here my whole life, and I've never got swept away yet. I'm still here.
Oh, Leonard Mountain said, Chris wants to do solar. Yes, it's an investment, and I would say start small, just buy a couple panels, then buy an inverter, then buy some batteries, and slowly but surely you'll get yourself built up into a nice setup. If you do it slow, if you do it all at once, it's kind of a bigger investment. But so
yeah, they I know for us here, we're planning on, we're going to start moving to some solar stuff here. Mm-hmm. We already talked about it last year. That was one of the goals. We started buying a few infrastructural, you know, key pieces, but we haven't broke off and bought panels yet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We kind of think we want to hook it up on like our barn, because our barn has no electricity. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost several $1,000s to run electricity to our barn, because everything here has to be rock solid. Mm-hmm. And our electric company is no longer a fan of doing overhead service once they break off of their main line.
Yeah.
So it would have to go underground. And if I'm going to invest that much money to saw rock to put it underground, I might as well invest that money in solar and make it off grid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys still tossing around the idea of maybe building a small cabin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some bean spilling right there.
Well, you've said it on a live.
I know.
Don't say that. You make me feel bad.
No. Yes. That ultimately is a plan here on the 9. We don't know how we're going to go about it yet. Nana and Lisa and I have had a lot of talks about that, especially since we went and visited Jason and Tara at White Rock Homestead and seen their tiny cabin firsthand. Because what it's called is a tiny house, tiny cabin.
Mm-hmm.
They have just as much room in that. Actually, they may have more room than what we're currently living in right now.
Yeah. No, you can cram a lot, especially if you go too high. You know, if you go upstairs and downstairs, you can actually put a lot in a very small space. Joey and I watched a lot of those tiny home makeover shows.
Yeah.
When we were living in Gainesville, and I was like, we could do that. And he was like, you got a lot of stuff you need to get rid of if we're going to do that. And I was like, no, look, the stairs go up and the stairs are storage. You know, I mean, it's just, you got to make those things happen. And if you think smart, then you can actually fit a lot more in there than you think.
And, you know, a lot of us, and I know this wasn't even really our subject today, but I think this is a great subject to branch off to.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we really live with a lot of clutter that we don't necessarily need in our homes and everything. I know there's other channels that's within our community or within the tribe, the family, that have talked about on their channels about downsizing, decluttering, stuff like that. And I know we're definitely like in that, you know, we all have the 3 or 4 drawers or half of a closet full of clothes that, we'll wear those again one of these days when I lose that 5 pounds.
Don't talk to Joey, okay? Don't. Mum's the word. You keep that to yourself. I like my clothes, and yes, I need to get rid of some.
or we all have that, you know, that 12-inch skillet.
Yes. And why do you need that for just the 2 of you anymore? You know?
I don't know.
But that's funny right there. Yep. It took me a year to figure out how to fit a 5-bedroom home into a 37-foot camper.
Holy cow.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I know. I gave my daughter.
That 5-bedroom house is probably in a storage unit somewhere.
I don't know. I gave our children, Joey and I gave, but the stuff that I gave to Megan, oh my gosh, you would not believe some. I don't know if anybody in the chat's ever heard of Princess House. They're like a glassware, cookware. Okay, I had a couple of Princess House parties and had some really nice stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to use it. Gave it to my daughter. Pampered Chef, gave it to my daughter. A whole bunch. And here I am buying Pampered Chef again. But I'm buying the small ones now, not the ginormous ones anymore.
Yeah, but you got that amazing outdoor kitchen now.
Yes, you know? But that wasn't originally in the plan.
Exactly.
So that has evolved. So expect to evolve and adapt to your new, once you see what you really do need, once you take a 5-bedroom home and stuff it into a 37-foot camper, you'll see what you really do miss and what you don't. So, but I think that would be great for you guys as well.
Well, and you know, I think that goes to show. I'm sorry if I'm missing people in the chat there. Art Wildland Survival, Linda Peterson. Yes. Guys, you guys are just blessing me to no end here being in this live podcast. This is amazing. Wanda Henry.
Yes.
What's going on?
Thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Jamie.
Jamie's country living.
Yeah.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. What's up?
Hey.
But, you know, a person gets very attached to their things and their stuff. And I seen that Rachel said, nope, she doesn't have any storage unit. And that is awesome.
Yes.
Proud of you for that.
She probably gave it to her kids or sold it or something like that. And that's I think that's kind of what White Rock did with a lot of their stuff.
Oh, now we got the throwdown.
Oh,
Ben's
Lord.
Over Acres is saying, so do men ever downsize the garage?
No.
Oh,
No.
snap.
Oh, snap.
Well, I will say this guy does. I sold toolbox this year. I've sold, I've got rid of stuff that I don't use anymore. And it's kind of against my will to sell tools. It really is.
Yeah.
But, if I'm just not using them anymore, I just go ahead and get rid of it. I've come to the point in my life that instead of holding on to a bunch of stuff that is cluttering up your world and your life, go ahead and let it go. If it comes back to the point that you definitely need it, then you can get it back. Or you come to that different season in your life, like you're talking about. Say I build that cabin.
Yeah, I was gonna say Megan ain't never given me none of that back. She's gotten too attached to it all. I will have to rebuy it. But
Yeah.
some of
But
it.
that's what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
and that's where I was going with the clothes is, I got some stuff that was like 6 or 7 jean sizes ago.
Oh gosh.
And it's gonna get put on a Facebook marketplace, and because I don't have enough of the size that I wear now, and let's replace it with
there you go.
Something I actually wear. And by golly, if I lose weight because I'm changing my health right now, and we are starting a different health journey.
But
I get back to a smaller size.
Not like it's one of those demanding New Year resolutions.
No.
You guys started like almost at the beginning of December.
Yeah, so we're doing it very slowly because we want it to be more of we don't want it to be a diet. We want it to be a change of life,
Yes. Yes.
And I'm exactly with Johnny at Gillum Farms. He says, no matter how much storage you have, you'll just find a way to fill it up. If you got storage, like I got this big barn out here.
Yes.
And I thought, I'll never need anything else. Guess what I'm thinking about doing? Adding a lean-to onto one of the other ones.
Oh, gosh. Oh. Yeah. I'm buying some totes from Amazon. That way we have to make hard decisions on what we keep, starting with 12 totes. That's a good idea.
That's a good plan.
I will tell you, Walmart has those very long, you can just hook your vacuum cleaner up to it. They're clothes bags, and you would be amazed at how much air and how much flatter those things can get. When we were trying to move things up here, I was like, how flat can I get this? And so, yeah, those things are amazing. And I'm sure they're on Amazon as well.
Yeah, like where you can hook your vacuum cleaner to the bag. And
yes. And it's just like
takes a comforter that's like this tall and it makes it like this big.
Yes, exactly.
We need to invest in that. I mean, who does that?
It's very beneficial, especially when you live in a camper. You can't really have all your clothes out to just go say, oh, well, it's hot today, let me go grab some shorts, or it's freezing today, let me go get a freezer suit. You have to, the winter stuff comes out, the summer stuff goes back. You can hold a couple of things out, but I mean, you can't have, and before I had everything. I could, in my closet, I could look at the winter stuff, the summer stuff, the fall, all of that. Yeah, you can't do that in a camper. And that was quite an adjustment for me.
So that's kind of our plan, is we want to go to that style with like those really heavy duty, say, hey, Tom Garvey, what's going on?
Hey.
Those really good, heavy duty storage tote type situations. So we can pack all of the winter stuff, take it to a storage unit, get it away from cluttering up our living environment.
Yes.
Until it comes that time of the year, and then make a switch, you know.
Yes, and bring it back out. Yep.
Hey, and Johnny Gillum is over here calling me out in the chat over my diet. Shh, what happens at pheasant camp stays at pheasant camp. You don't talk about that.
You're diming him out, man. Who does that?
I don't know who does that.
Linda Peterson said that hardware stores have those too.
Really?
So I guess you could buy those at hardware stores as well. That's awesome.
But does Harbor Freight have that?
I don't know about that.
I got to stay out of Harbor Freight because Harbor Freight is like a toy store for me.
I can only imagine.
I go in there, I don't need anything when I walk in the door, and I leave with like tons of stuff that I don't need. But it's just so cool. I mean,
you thought you needed it. Oh, I could use this. I'll use it a million times. And then
the worst part is I started taking Lisa in there with me, and now she's about as bad. She's like, we need another one of these magnetic strips. We don't have enough flashlights. Let's go grab some more flashlights, you know. Hey, Pafford Homestead, what's going on?
Hello, Andell. How are you, ma'am?
Oh, Miss Ann. Hello.
Tuesday this morning, and she is organized. I have organization envy. But I'm going to start making my list. So I can get somewhat organized like she is.
Looking at twice, are you?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Santa's not coming to help me. I can tell you that. I'm going to have to do that on my own. So yeah.
Our back to the podcast situation. So look, upcoming episodes starting. So our next episode will not be next week. It'll be the following week.
Yes.
On a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll just have to make sure you tune in because subject is going to change. Could be special guest.
Yes.
Could be just little old me and the star known as Ginger.
No, oh, stop. Thank you for that, Dale, but I am not a star. Esther was a star. You know, after our little Bible study last night, I read that Esther's name, her Persian name means star, which it was Hester, and it means star. So anyways, I mean, that's just a little fun factoid there for anybody who wants to know. I was digging in the word a little bit this morning, jumping ahead, trying to study for next week.
Yeah, I sent so those that don't know, I send a verse every morning to Lisa. And my verse from this morning, it was so fitting for the time we're in right now. It just blows my mind how, just like the verse for today, you know, how God places that in your life and you don't even, you know, you're not guiding that any way, shape, or form. It just happens, you know?
Yeah.
But
it is pretty awesome because you don't see the forest for the trees.
Bingo!
Until something goes wham, and you're like, okay, God had a hand in this. This did not happen by accident.
That's right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
And that's you ladies with the digging in the word. You know, I tuned into that and that it was amazing. I loved every part of that.
Thank you.
You had lots
of so much.
You got a lot of people engaged and really interested in that, I think.
Yes.
And it's the perfect story to start off with. You know, I had no influence in this whatsoever.
No, Christine picked that one.
But you guys started off with the most perfect story with Esther. And I won't steal all the thunder, but I'll just say the one line that I know was said in the chat last night also by another person, y'all are built for a time such as this. We are all
Oh,
built for a time such as this. And it's the
yes.
truest story ever of that, you know.
Oh, thank you.
You
Thank you.
bet.
This was funny, and I will tell you, or fun, not funny. It was fun. We really enjoyed it, and I will say it has really gotten some very good responses. And Esther, like you said, Esther is a story that not people are not that interested in it. You know, it's like, oh, it's Esther. You know, you hear about everybody else, and you know, like Rachel and Ruth, and you know, let's go read about them. Esther, man, not so much, but it's really a very good story. So, anyways, that's not this podcast live. That's
No,
the Monday night, but we'll throw
that's a
some
Monday.
promotion that way too.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the podcast to me has become the thing that, you know, like we talked about at the beginning of this is the one thing that you don't necessarily have to look at my pretty
Right.
face.
Because he's
You know,
dunamis. Oh, wrong way. I never
But-
get that right. I never get it right.
but this way you can go on with your day. You can pull this up on YouTube Music,
Mhm.
you know, and pop in the podcast or
Put in
pull it
your
up there,
earbuds and
put it in an earbud and get to work in the garden, get to building fence, get to,
Mhm.
you know, cleaning out the chicken coop and stuff like that. And just listen in to the goofiness known as Dale talking. You know.
and me giggling. Always happens. Always happens. Yes, Lynn,
But-
I agree. Esther really is a good story. So
It
we
is
will
a
have a new podcast 2 weeks from today that will come out. That one we're going to have a special guest on that one, who's going to learn us something, right?
Yep. Y'all just sit down. We're going to learn you something.
Yes, because I'm not a la familiar. I was going to try to say that in Spanish and it wasn't coming out right. So
No familia.
I just, yeah. La familia.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
don't know.
I think that's Italian, actually.
I know there's people in here that are going, y'all ain't Spanish. Quit trying.
I know, and you're not Italian, so quit trying that. But we try. We try to bring humor with it as well.
I try to, and Ginger, she always succeeds with that.
No, stop.
I'm funny because I'm the guy that just says things that are funny for some reason.
And for some reason, and I'm the one that laughs at them.
So today was all about last year, what we felt was a success as far as the podcast.
Yes.
We don't have humongous numbers. We're not like quitting the YouTube world in our regular content creation to become full-time podcasters.
Right,
You know,
right.
Although I would love for that if you guys want to push this out and share it to everybody else.
We're okay with that.
We'd
But
be
no, I
good.
think we get to Jamie said fun and informative. And if we can just help one person or
That's right.
a couple of people or encourage them, to go out and get fill in the blank farm animal. Because that's what this is mainly about, your livestock.
Some of the reason why it started becoming an informative podcast was because I know for me, I started getting feedback from people that was like, now, what do you mean by hanging weight? Or
Yes.
how do you know how much to feed? Or what exactly did you feed them? Or when do I go ahead and harvest this animal? When should I buy it? Hey, there's Glenn and Jess from Gathered Together Homestead.
Hey
What's going on?
there. How are you? So nice to see you.
And Scotty has it right.
Dale and
Scotty,
Ginger, but that's okay.
I think he's saying hi to Jamie at Jamie's Country Living.
Oh, okay.
But this is Ginger,
okay.
just in case you don't know, Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you met my friend Ginger,
The one
not
that
for nothing
giggles.
Homestead,
The one that giggles all the time. Yeah, sorry.
better known as Gomer Franks around
Homer Franks,
Scholars and
yes.
Friends. But and Scotty has it right. I'm just the sidekick here.
No.
I'm just I used to always make fun of my youngest son, and I called him Captain of Useless Information. And I've always said, I would be like to Lisa, where does he get that? He just drives me up the wall. He's Captain of Useless Information. And it wasn't until I started going back and listening to these podcasts with you and I talking that I went, it's me.
I'm the problem.
I'm the problem here.
Hi, I'm Dale, and I'm the problem. I'm the reason my son spews that useless information at you.
Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am a jack of all trades and a master of none. I can get you just to the point to really get you in trouble.
Yeah.
And then maybe leave you hanging there.
I don't know. I've called you when I've been in some pretty sticky situations and you've bailed me out. So I would say you are proficient in a few things. You don't give yourself enough credit there, Dale. But yeah, I mean, we all dabble. I mean, as a homesteader, you have no choice. You have to dabble in a little bit of everything.
That's right. I seen Jamie said, didn't know what cull meant. Well, for those who don't know what cull means, that means to remove from the herd, or in other words, there is something genetically wrong, physically wrong, and needs to be removed from that area, either from a herd, from your garden. I use cull in the garden all the time. So like if I plant plants in my garden and those that are like, not as big and strong as the other ones, those that have a little bit of disease, I cull those out because they can actually hold back the growth of the ones beside them and
choke them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're taking up nutrients and lifeblood for the ones around them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And a person can, there's something to be said, especially when we start talking about livestock on the homestead, of that mothering home, that nature of growing something, animal husbandry, I guess is another way to say it, where you want to do the best. You want them to succeed the most as you can. But there also comes a point that if all of your interest is focused on one and you neglect the rest, that it may be time to move to something else.
Because it will come back to, I don't want to say bite you, but you will, reap the benefits or lack thereof. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I can go back to the days when we raised goats, and this is for a story for next year, also. But where you get to the point
next week or not next year.
Okay, the upcoming year. Down the road when we start talking about small ruminants. But
yes, okay.
I've got stories to go along where maybe too much effort and too much time was spent with those that would have been better to be culled, C-U-L-L,
yes,
from the herd or removed, or and maybe less money and time should have been spent on them for the exact same results that happened anyway.
Yeah. Yes. And then it's a live and learn type thing.
It is a live and learn type thing, and then, we talked about during the pig talk about that a person needs to be willing to go do the things that maybe you didn't think about, like castration, like doctrine, like if it gets tied up in a fence, that kind of thing.
Had a couple of those incidences.
Well, we've been an hour into this.
Yes.
Hey, MT Homestead, Terry, thanks for showing up.
Hey.
We appreciate you being here.
Hello, hello.
So 2 weeks, check out both of our channels for the next episode of 9 Acres of Nothing podcast.
Yes. Which this
and
is a live one, just to recap, but next week
this was live, but next week it will not be live. It will look exactly the same.
Yes. He said this is Big Mike.
Hey, Big Mike. Sorry. Normally he says Mr. MT when he comes in. So
yes.
Hey, there's the budget preppers.
Hey.
Look at all you new people coming in. We do appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much. Dale is doing a belated Christmas today. So we thought we would keep this and cap this at an hour. So he's going to have to go because people are going to be trampling on him to get into their presents pretty soon.
Yeah, so we haven't had Christmas with our kids because our youngest was halfway across the country. Actually, he was north of Georgia over there,
Yes, he was.
And so we're having the Christmas this evening, and in fact, here pretty soon. So we're gonna have to bug out of here. We're gonna
scooch out, and we will definitely see you guys in 2 weeks back for another podcast. And we're
with a special guest. We got a little bean spilling right there.
Yes.
Better come back because there's going to be a special guest in the next one.
Yes, and we're going to be moving on from the pork and the pigs to bleep. I'm not telling you.
We'll have to tune in to find out.
I'm not spilling the beans still. So anyways, we appreciate all of you guys for coming in. Don't forget the verse. And Dale, would you like to say a little prayer before we leave?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Awesome.
Lord, thank you for blessing us with this podcast, Lord. Thank you for the reach that it has grown out and the use of it to help others grow their own farms and homesteads. Lord, please utilize those of us in this podcast within the chat and that view the video later to do all things for the glory of you. Lord, please put a hedge of protection around everyone involved. Please bring us all back together again so we can spend this time in fellowship within your world, Lord, and you as our main focus. All this we pray in your wonderful name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dale.
So, what do they need to do until next time, Ginger?
They need to go grow your homestead. Right, Dale?
Right. Get out there. Go grow it. Get out of here.
Going. All right, we're going.
We got things to do. See you later.
Yes. God bless you guys.